Hello and welcome to episode 8 of the Hard Mode Gaming Podcast. I'm Tim, this is Dan, and this is the episode before the week that the new generation of consoles releases, and so does Black Ops Cold War.
And Assassin's Creed.
And Assassin's Creed.
And
And Spider-Man. And Demon Souls.
All this week.
And whatever else comes out with the PlayStation and the Xbox. I don't remember anything else. Just those ones. Those are the important ones. They all come out. So we're going to talk a little bit about all that stuff as well as the games we played this week, but we're going to start with the games we played this week. He mentioned the games that he was going to play this week, which was Fear 2, because he had played Fear 1 in the previous week, so just talk about Fear 2.
Okay, so I finished Fear 1, and overall I like the game. I said before it was basically Counter-Strike mixed with Max Payne with some horror stuff to it.
Half-Life or Counter-Strike?
Half-Life.
You said Counter-Strike.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, same difference.
So, Fear 2 is Call of Duty and Max Payne. They get rid of the lean. What's happening? They get rid of the lean mechanic, and they make it so you can ADS. Normally, they basically just copied Call of Duty because Fear 2 came out in 2009, and Modern Warfare was like basically changing the way FPSs were made. So they changed Fear 2. Fear 2 is pretty short. Basically the biggest difference is that gameplay where it's more like Call of Duty. The guns have like way less recoil. And it's basically easier. The way they counterbalance that is to just throw a poop ton of enemies at you, like outrageous amounts of enemies.
Sounds like Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm. And then the other thing they do is mix up the gameplay a little bit by giving you like a mech that you can get into and kill things. So there will be sections where a crap ton of enemies will be rushing and you're in a mech and you're just mowing them down and blowing them up. And they also added a sniper rifle and changed some of the weapons and basically made it so all of them make sense to ADS. Fear 2 is pretty good. I would say I got scared maybe more in Fear 2, especially the creepier moments where the lights go completely out.
More than Fear 1, you mean?
Yeah. And they flash. Overall, though, it's definitely easier because it's more like modern shooters than classic ones, basically. The level design also follows that kind of that suit where it follows more modern game design rather than older game design for levels.
Yes.
So overall, I liked both, but I would say I liked Fear 1 a little bit more because it was a little more challenging and the gunplay was different from what I'm used to, pretty much. Overall, both good games, though. They both held up really well, which I was glad to see. I also played the Fear 2 DLC.
Which is also rare from, like, shooters of that age now.
Yeah.
Because they were like the first to do some things, but now it's been improved upon so much that they usually don't age well.
Yeah, it felt pretty good. I also played the Fear 2 DLC, and it was less than an hour long, and you play as like one of the clone soldier thingies, whatever they're called, and you get in a mech for a good portion, then there's like a little bit of a stealth thing, and that was alright. The ending of Fear 2 was the weirdest thing ever because Alma rapes the character that you're playing as and then is pregnant and then the game ends.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not joking.
You could have given me a long time to figure out what happened at the end and I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, it's really, really weird.
So if their objective was to surprise you, they succeeded.
Yes, that was the weirdest thing ever. Basically, the end is like...
Wait, isn't Alma like a little girl?
No, she's older in that. And she's naked the whole time.
That's so weird.
So, basically, you get, like... Your one squad mate gets, like, possessed by her and is going crazy, and all these monsters are coming out at you, and you kill them all eventually. and complete your objective, which is to get Alma's like connection to you out of you with this machine. And then there's like a scene where you're like sitting in the chair that's doing it, and she's on top of you like moaning, and then the game literally ends. She grabs your hand and like puts your hand on her stomach to touch the baby, and I was like, what is happening? This is so weird. It made me uncomfortable.
I could have gone without hearing that.
Yeah, it was.
And that's like, she's like a horror demon monster.
Yeah, she's like scary, like Ethan's girlfriend in Resident Evil 7, Mia.
That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
So that's weird. So the first game is Alma is your mother, and then the second game she rapes you and has a kid with you.
Are you the same character?
No, two different characters.
Well, I guess now the second game's character is the first game's character's stepdad. Good for him.
So now he's got 2 kids.
Facts.
So yeah, that's really all I gotta say about that. The story is weird. Gunplay is pretty fun. They're 2 different games. I wish leaning was back in the second one, but what are you gonna do?
Okay.
So what did you play?
I played Ghostrunner. As I said I was going to do last week, I completed the game. Honestly, absolutely loved Ghostrunner. I highly recommend it, especially if you like games like Mirror's Edge or Titanfall or anything with wall running and speed running and parkour and that kind of stuff. I was very surprised at how much I liked the story. It's very simple. There's not like a ton to it. You're basically like, you're a ghost runner, which is like these things that were essentially created to protect the architect, who is the guy that like made this world, I guess is kind of what I got out of it. He's the guy that made this world, and the ghost runners are supposed to like protect him. And then this woman Mara is like trying to take over the world, and she starts like killing people, and then she like tries to wipe out all the ghost runners, but you're the only one that didn't die, and you also just happen to be the ghost runner that has like super crazy abilities that are better than the other ghost runners, and you just basically gotta run through and navigate through all the levels until you get to Mara and kill her, and then there's more stuff at the end that I won't get into. But I honestly really like the story more than I thought I would. The movement is some of the best I've ever touched in a video game, like hands down, no question. If you like Apex momentum building, sliding, like that kind of thing, mixed with like Mirror's Edge mantling and like that kind of thing, ooh, it's just really solid all around.
And then you one-hit enemies.
And then you one-hit enemies every time, but they one-hit you as well. So like they kind of incorporated it so your part of your obstacles are the enemies. Like, you don't just have to wall run through this and navigate these obstacles. You also have to figure out how to do it safely without getting shot and killing them to move on to the next room or objective or whatever. And it's really, really good. The level design is phenomenal. There were a few very rare occasions where I felt like there were things that maybe shouldn't have been where they were or didn't really feel right in the game. One thing I talked about with our friend is that there are enemies in the game that run at you and explode. They're sort of like tickers from Gears of War or
Suicide grunts,
like that kind of thing. They literally run at you and then blow up. And those were the one thing in Ghostrunner that if I could like talk to the devs, I would be like, why did you do that? Because to me, they just felt completely out of place, because the whole game encourages you to get through this level as fast as you can, get around this enemy or kill this enemy or whatever. And these are enemies that first of all, they know where you are. So no matter where you go, they're coming at you. They can jump over gaps and climb walls. So no matter where you are, they can still get to you. They are almost as fast as you are. So no matter how fast you run, they're basically right up your butt. You can't kill them. because if you hit them, they explode and you die.
You.
And they run towards you. So, say I get to the first level with these explosive enemies. You enter this corridor, and all of a sudden there's like 7 of them running at me. Now, this is my first engagement with them, so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to jump around them. So I like start wall running. They immediately climb up the wall. They blow me up. So the next time I'm like, all right, I'm going to take this a little slower and see what they do. They just run right at me and blow me up. So I eventually figured out that if you run away from them long enough without getting hit, they blow themselves up and you cannot die from it. So basically, I would walk into the area and trigger them coming out. And then once they came out, I would just run backwards until they all blew up. And then I would turn around and go back towards the direction that I actually need to go. But, like, that is so obtrusive to the way that the game's supposed to be played. Now, these enemies were only in, like, the last few levels. And they really weren't that big of a deal. And they weren't that common. But that was, like, the one thing out of everything in the game. Like, I absolutely loved the game the whole time I played it. I loved the level design, the different types of enemies. There were types of enemies that had, like, shields that you couldn't go through. There were enemies that, if you weren't behind cover, they shot a laser that insta-killed you. So when they shot the laser, you had to make sure you're behind a wall and then attack them before they get another laser off. Like, those sorts of enemies created obstacles for me as I ran through that sometimes got frustrating because I didn't do it right, but once I figured it out, it like felt so rewarding and good. And then those explosive enemies came, and that was not the case.
It's like counter to all the
to how the whole game's supposed to be played. It just didn't feel good. It didn't feel like it belonged in the game. That was my least favorite part. Every other part of the Ghostrunner, like no joke, I give this game like a solid 9 out of 10. And that was probably my biggest complaint about the whole thing. Like I said, if you like parkour games, and if you like games kind of like Super Meat Boy or whatever other games there are where you try something, die, and then start over and try it again until you figure it out, like that kind of thing, and really fast respawns, you'll absolutely love Ghostrunner. It's so freaking good. And I've been replaying actually mostly the first level of the game because I'm trying to speed run it. I did it in like a minute and something, and people, including me and our one friend, have already discovered like skips on the levels where you can get around this group of enemies, or if you run on this wall outside the map, you can like skip all these obstacles and like speed up your time. There's all kinds of crazy speedrun stuff happening. People already figured out that if you like, I forgot to tell you about this, on I think the second level of Ghostrunner, there's like a spot where you're underneath all the obstacles, like where you're supposed to be running. But if you reach this one point underneath and hit this wall, you get a checkpoint, and then you can hit escape, because once you're paused, the time stops, and then you hit restart at checkpoint, and it'll start you up ahead of where you were because you got that checkpoint. And people figured that out. So it's faster to just run down bottom, nowhere near where you're supposed to go, and then basically almost kill yourself, get the checkpoint, and hit restart checkpoint, and just immediately start running again.
Way faster.
And it's faster. It's actually insane.
It's pretty cool.
But people are already figuring out all crap like that, and it's honestly nuts. But the game's really good, and everybody should play it.
I played a little bit of it, but I haven't gotten that far. I spent a lot of time working on a video this week, and playing Fear, and
yeah, it's good. I know you get frustrated with games pretty easily, and it can be difficult, but I swear it's like it feels so good when you like get past those spots.
Yeah,
it's great.
The only thing I felt was that the enemies' like accuracy was inconsistent, and sometimes you were like dodging perfectly and they were just still hitting you.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is weird, man.
Yeah, they pretty much always have perfect accuracy, so you just have to know when they're going to shoot and dodge or like change your direction as soon as they shoot every time, and you can't mess that up. Honestly, by the end of the game, those regular enemies with that stuff, and like now as I go back on the same levels, I know like when they're going to shoot and the timing and stuff so well that I don't even have a problem with it most of the time. It's fairly simple at that point. Once you practice it and deal with it a lot, it gets a lot easier.
Well, I'll have to play more this week, but there's a lot of stuff coming out.
All right, so What exactly is coming out?
Well, tomorrow, Prodeus in early access.
Prodeus Early Access, which if you don't know is a retro FPS similar to Doom, the one that he made a level for. And he's probably going to make more levels on the release of the game.
And I'm probably going to stream it tomorrow.
And he's going to stream it as well. And that game's really good. We both played the demo on Steam, and it was phenomenal. Lots of fun.
So it's got like Monday the 9th, it's coming out in early access.
So that's like the most recent game to when we're recording this on the 8th. So that's the closest game to coming out to when we're recording this. And then we got what's coming out next.
Tuesday is Assassin's Creed and the Xbox.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla and the Xbox Series X.
Mm-hmm.
Release on Tuesday.
Which I'm interested in Assassin's Creed, but if it has too many similarities to Odyssey, then I don't know if I want to play it.
I really enjoyed what I played of Odyssey, but like he said before, I'm even worse than him with like if it has too much content, I lose interest. And I think Odyssey, I put like probably good between I want to say 20 and 30 hours into it. Like right when I got it, and then I just dropped it and never played it again because I just completely lost interest.
Once you get to a certain point in that game, it's about grinding for levels and like getting gear that fits like how you want to play. So, unfortunately, the stealth in that game is not that great. So like,
which was a huge part of what drew people into being an assassin. Like if I'm an assassin, like that's why I love Dishonored so much. It feels so good to sneak around and murder people.
If you don't gear yourself towards assassinating people, then you're not going to be able to one-hit them in assassinating. And then if you're geared toward assassinating and your damage still isn't enough, then your combat skills aren't going to be good enough, and then you lose. And it's just like an endless cycle, and enemies scale and level with you, so they match your level all the time. So, like, even though you're level 50, the people you fought at the very beginning of the game respawn, and they're the same level as you, and it's really, really
And there's just always a situation where you're at a disadvantage, whether it's assassinating or the combat or whatever.
in the earlier Assassin's Creed games, there are enemies that you can't just assassinate right away, but the grand majority of enemies you can just kill.
Right.
And in that game, you have to like unlock new assassin abilities and get gear that's geared towards it with the stats that you need. And it's not like you can just easily find this gear. Like you have to like either craft it or kill an enemy and get a drop or whatever. So if Valhalla has those kind of like loot and leveling mechanics similar to that, then I don't know if I want to put the time into it.
For me, instantly with Valhalla, just the Viking part of it, I'm interested. Like they have me. And then from there, literally all they have to do is let me do like sweet, cool Viking stuff. Like let me dress up like freaking Kratos. Let me absolutely demolish people on a ship and then like crash on a mountain and see like some kind of god, I don't know. Like, let me see the what's his name? The snake from God of War? I can't remember what he's called. He's got, like, a crazy long name. You know what I'm talking about? He's called, like, the World Eater, serpent. The World Serpent. But what's his name that they call him in? I don't know. Anyway, not important. But if there's anything like that stuff in the game, I'm interested and I want to play it. But if it's just the same repetitive open world, no real good, mostly filler content Assassin's Creed game, then I'm very turned off from it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see reviews.
Either way, I think I'm only going to get it when the price drops a little bit.
Also, to be fair, I've been on an Assassin's Creed kick, and I've been playing Rogue, and that's like more similar to the original games, like 1, 2, 3, and Black Flag, and all those.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, as weird as it is, those games, just exploring and collecting stuff and just like walking around the world and parkouring is pretty fun. But like they need to come up with something that isn't totally Odyssey but also isn't totally the original games. There needs to be a balance so it is an Assassin's Creed game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I personally like want to like it and I want to play it, but
Yeah, me too.
I want to
Definitely.
see I want to see what reviews say
I would
before
love.
I buy it.
I would love for a Viking-based Assassin's Creed game to just blow my balls off.
Yeah,
Like, I would
exactly.
love for it to be amazing, but I have very little faith.
Yeah, so if they say it has the same issues as Odyssey, then I'm out.
Yeah, I agree.
Unfortunately,
I
I'll
agree
wait
with
until
that.
a price drop.
What's next coming out? So that was Tuesday. That
So
comes out.
Tuesday, that and the Xbox come
And the
out.
Xbox. Okay.
So the Xbox, I don't know if there's a point in me getting because I have a good PC.
Yeah, I don't really. Right now, until they give me a reason, like, and Xbox has been. I mean, not that this is a negative thing. It's a phenomenal thing for players and consumers. Is pretty much every exclusive Xbox game is just on PC. So now for them, for like Xbox the company, it sucks because I don't need to buy the console because I have a PC. So why would I waste my time and money? But for us, like, it's fantastic because, like, if I want to play Halo or Gears or whatever, I just get on my PC and I don't have to buy two things for it.
It has a lot of good features. The controller is pretty much the same as the Xbox One with a new button. But it has like that quick resume. It has
Quick resume thing's pretty sick.
Any games you have installed on your Xbox One, you can have automatically loaded onto your Series X or Series S when you get it through your Wi-Fi. I was watching a video about it.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
That is
so
cool.
like you could just say all the games installed here I want moved, and it just does it like instantly. It's really
honestly
fast.
When you think about it, the fact that these consoles are like basically as powerful as a high-end PC, but all they do is play and launch your games. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a PC that's like really good, but it's also like running a web browser. It's like running my stream. It's running 87 other things. Like, that Xbox, you're running that game. It's not doing anything else but running that game.
All the power is going to the games.
Right.
So, also the fact that it's backwards compatible with everything is really dope. Like, all your previous Xbox games are automatically backwards compatible.
That's amazing.
So I think at some point I'll probably end up getting one because it has that fatty 4K Blu-ray.
I'm sure they're going to say,
fatty
like,
4K 60 FPS.
they're going to say, here's this new version called the Xbox Series Z or whatever, and it's going to, like, give me X-ray vision or some crazy feature that I can't.
And apparently it also has, like, 8K capability, which is, like, nobody can even afford a TV with that.
Yeah, that's a lot. So, that's a lot of Ks.
I think eventually I'll get one, but not right now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking at upgrading my PC, so I'm definitely not getting a console anytime soon. But
Thursday.
Moving on from that, Thursday is the PS5. Which
Spider-Man
is
Miles
getting
Morales.
some solid exclusives that you can only play on the PS5.
So apparently the controller is sick as hell because it has like haptic feedback and impulse triggers that can like lock up or like make more tension or make it easier or whatever. And it's like super customizable.
Yeah.
Also, they have a setting, I think, on both consoles. I'm not sure, but they made it so you can set like a preset sensitivity, volume, brightness for every single game.
Wow.
From your like dashboard, so you don't have to.
That's pretty sick.
Keep setting it in every single game. So
I like that.
Spider-Man is getting great reviews. They're saying it's basically like a 12-ish hour story with Miles Morales. Visually, it looks amazing.
I mean, if the gameplay is just like the other one, I'm in.
Yeah, they added.
Because it was so much fun.
I think he has new abilities and stuff, but for the most part, it's very similar. So that's a win in my book.
Let me swing around the city and then hop in and beat the piss out of people, and I'm good to go.
Mm-hmm. So
that's
that looks great. And Demon Souls, I'm interested in. It looks phenomenal graphically.
You never played the first one, right? No.
I haven't played Demon Souls. I've played all the Dark Souls games. I've beat 1 and 2 in Bloodborne.
I'm not huge on Dark Souls, so I'm good there. Even though I do think it looks really good.
Demon Souls looks really good. I think the enemy AI is the same, but everything else is like upgraded. Animations, visuals, the character creator, everything else is just like.
I'm definitely interested. I'll probably watch some people play it, but I probably won't play it myself.
So
That's how I am with Dark Souls games.
I'm super interested in getting a PS5 for those games, but also the fact that you can backwards compatible like The Last of Us Part 2 and it'll probably have a better frame rate. Which is kind of insane. If they're optimizing for that, but who knows? Because on PS4 it's 30 FPS.
Yeah.
But if you get a 60 FPS on the PS5, shoo!
Yeah, that's hot.
That would be cool.
That's real hot.
So I'm interested. I want to get a PS5. I want to be able to play Spider-Man in 4K. And I want to play Demon Souls as well. Like, I've never played it, and I never had a PS3, so I couldn't have played it.
Yeah.
So, I want to try and pull the trigger on a PS5 on Thursday. Would 100% have both of those games purchased if I could get one, but...
For sure.
And, yeah, the PS5 also looks cool as a console. It's just gigantic. And... I don't think they've been allowed to, like, fully review it yet.
Yeah, I don't even know
so
where we
I'm
can
interested
put it.
to see this week, as all the reviews start coming out, what they're going to say about Assassin's Creed, Demon Souls, the PS5.
People absolutely dumped on the Xbox for looking like a fridge, but nobody cared that the PlayStation looks like it's a freaking spaceship and it's like the size of your coffee table.
It is bigger than every other console ever made.
It's so big. And I feel
huge.
Like no one really cared. I mean, I guess some people made fun of it.
In the comparison
But
pictures...
the Xbox got absolutely shredded when it looked like a fridge.
Yeah, in the comparison pictures, it has a good few inches on the original OG Xbox.
Which was huge.
That's
the original OG
is.
Xbox is like this big. Like, it's so big.
It is a huge console, man.
Massive. Anyway... that's Thursday, right? Yeah. And then Friday we get Cold War.
Call of Duty, Black Ops,
full release,
Cold War.
Full release Call of Duty, Black Ops, Cold War.
Not Warzone, though.
Not... So, I don't know.
We don't know.
So, are they putting the... So, I heard... This is what I heard. I don't know what's true. So, anyway, we've all figured out by now that the way Cold War is getting integrated into Warzone is basically that a new Cold War Warzone map and the Cold War weapons are being put into essentially Modern Warfare because it has to run on that engine to be in Warzone. So you're going to be able to choose your Cold War loadout, your Modern Warfare loadout, the Modern Warfare map, or the Cold War map, etc. That's basically how that's going to work. Now, I heard on release of the game, we're going to continue playing Warzone on Verdansk in Modern Warfare, but the Cold War weapons are going to come out for that part of Warzone.
Right.
So we will continue playing the exact same Warzone game we're playing right now, but we will be able to use Cold War weapons. To me, that makes absolutely no sense and is incredibly stupid that this is how they're even doing it, because now I'm going to have to like unlock attachments and stuff in Cold War using a gun with a different time to kill that feels completely different and everything because it's on a totally different engine. Mm-hmm. And then I have to go to Warzone and use that gun in Warzone to figure out if I actually like it in Warzone after I just waste all my time unlocking all the stuff in Cold War. Anyway, besides the point.
It's two different games, basically.
Then in 2021, sometime, probably early, around, I would guess, when Warzone originally came out, which was like March. So I'm guessing like March 2021 is when a Cold War map is coming out for Warzone.
Well, they said something's coming out in December for Cold War.
Like a map?
They said it would be fully integrated.
It'll probably just be like the weapons or something.
Like I have no idea
why. I don't think it makes any sense.
How or why they're doing it this way. It doesn't make sense at all because they're doubling the work they have to do. It makes no sense whatsoever. It is the weirdest thing ever. But I'm looking forward to playing multiplayer again and actually enjoying it because Modern Warfare's multiplayer is...
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Modern Warfare's multiplayer, and based on the Cold War beta, I already liked it better than Modern Warfare. I'm probably still not going to put a ton of time into it, but I am definitely going to play it when it comes out. And
plus the campaign will probably be cool.
Yeah, I'll probably still play Warzone, but I'm definitely going to put
And
a little bit of time into
zombies.
multiplayer. Yeah, we might get some zombies in. I've never been big on zombies. I know people love zombies.
Mm-hmm.
People get the game just for zombies, dude. People love zombies.
So, yeah, that's another game I'm interested to see what the reviews say of how they handle all this stuff and if the multiplayer is back to how it should be, if the campaign's any good, if zombies brings zombies a step forward instead of just being the same thing again.
Yep.
I don't know, but the same can be said about Assassin's Creed. Who knows?
Guess we'll find out eventually.
Who knows? There's a lot of stuff coming out this week. Prodeus,
Whole
Assassin's
week,
Creed,
whole week's popping off.
Xbox, PS5, everything, man. It's going to be a good week for video games. And I took a day off of work to jam some...
To just soak it all in.
To jam some James.
To just inhale all the video game stuff.
The new game smell. Woo!
Just open up a fresh case. Oh, I don't even buy physical games anymore. I kind of miss that, though. You used to buy a physical game, you would open up the case in the car. Get that nice little smell of the guy who packaged it back at the shop.
Oh, and next week,
some dude that works at GameStop.
Before the end of the month, the Breath of the
Sherman.
Wild Age of Calamity or whatever comes out, and I want to play that too. That comes out. And Pikmin 3 remake came out at the end of October.
Oh my goodness.
And Pikmin 3 is really good, and I want to play it again on Switch, but I'm playing other things, and I'm trying
I feel like that WWE guy, he's like, I forget his name, the like commissioner of the league or whatever. He's like,
well, Pikmin 3 on Wii U I played. It is really, really damn good. It's really good looking. The music's great, and I want to replay it, but there's just so many games happening right now. So
there's a lot going on.
I think if I can pull the trigger on a PS5, I'll be playing some Spider-Man, I'll be playing some Cold War, and then we'll just go from there, because now we know...
sure.
Now we know we've got another month and a half before Cyberpunk. So, and
Facts.
then I think Ratchet and Clank comes out sometime this year too.
Dude, I really want Cold War multiplayer to be good, because I feel like we haven't had a fun new multiplayer experience come out since Warzone. Like, everyone's still playing Warzone because nothing else has come out.
It's either that or Apex for like 90%.
Yeah, like there's been single player games, but nothing really solid with multiplayer. And it's kind of upsetting to me that it's still a Call of Duty game, so it's not really that much different. But
it's the same but different.
If the multiplayer is good, it'll at least be better.
So I'm very much looking forward to this week with video games.
Should be a good
not going to work, but video games.
Should be a good one.
And I will likely be streaming Prodeus, and I kind of want to do a Titanfall playthrough, because Titanfall 2. Because I started playing that a little bit, and
game's good.
That game is so good. And if you haven't played Titanfall 2, wishlist it on Steam, and the Christmas sale comes around, or the Black Friday sale, pull the trigger immediately.
I fired up Pokemon Shield today, because I'm just on a Pokemon kick and I just want to play Pokemon. I'm thinking about just like hunting for shinies and legendaries in that game. I just want to play Pokemon.
Yeah. Sometimes for some reason I got on an Assassin's Creed kick. I started playing Rogue. I started up Unity, Unity was the first Assassin's Creed that was on like current gen consoles like Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah, I didn't play it.
And it's like it looks pretty good for being from 2014, and like it definitely like upgrades the style of the original few games up to Rogue. So like I don't know, I enjoy those games, but like I said, Odyssey's grind and leveling and stuff is not for me.
I think I played Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, then I never played another one until Odyssey.
I played 1, 2, Brotherhood, and I beat all of those. Then I played 3, never finished it. Black Flag, never finished it. And then I played Odyssey. And now I'm playing Rogue for the first time.
Didn't you have Oasis or whatever it's called?
Origins,
that's it.
Well, that was on Game Pass or something, I think. I didn't pay for it.
But you still played it, right?
A little bit.
Okay.
I didn't actually beat it, because I think that one is a little less likely.
Yeah, I never played Brotherhood, Unity, Origins, Black
But
Flag.
if in Valhalla they have great combat, let me assassinate people, let me be a badass Viking, but
just
I
cool,
also don't
like
have to grind.
Cool, like Norse mythology stuff.
And enemies don't scale and level and all that stuff. Or if there's just no leveling at all and you're just a badass Viking, like, yup.
I gotta look up the World Serpent's real name because it's really bothering me.
So, basically, if I can get a PS5, I will. But with the availability right now...
Jormungandr, the World Serpent.
I would love to have the PS5 sweet controller. Eventually I'll get a Series X probably because of that.
Probably eventually
power.
we'll get both of them, but
yeah.
I don't know when.
And definitely 100% confirmed getting Call of Duty. And then
I have Call of Duty pre-order.
Demon Souls and Spider-Man. It depends on if I can get a PS5.
I might get Prodeus. I might just let him get it and see how it is first. I have pretty much faith that it's going to be good. I'm trying not to spend a ton of money right now. I've already sunk
40 hours into the
early
access.
I think I know that I want to buy it. I'm just trying not to buy a lot of games right now. So I'm already buying Call of Duty this week. So I might just save and not get anything else right at the moment. But I'll definitely be playing Prodeus. And then eventually those PS5 games as well.
Yes.
Other than that, we were trying to keep this episode short. If you have anything else, we can go into anything else you want, but I think I'm pretty good at this point.
I worked very hard on a video this weekend and the past couple of weeks. It's discussing the length of video games and what makes them feel too long or what makes them too long in general.
And how it's changed over years.
Right, and I kind of just discussed what can developers do to make games a little more concise and leave the player wanting more from the game rather than being like, I can't wait until this is over.
Instead of being exhausted by it.
So the video, it's under 10 minutes, but it has a lot to say. There's a lot of gameplay from a lot of games. And I worked really hard on it, and hopefully people will watch it and like what I have to say.
It's very good, and it's very informative. If you don't know a lot about game design and development, it's good to listen to because he knows a lot and pays a lot of attention to that stuff as he plays this game, and he makes a lot of good points about how certain very specific things in games make someone who's playing it feel bored instead of excited for more. And it's just that kind of thing, and it's good.
And, so that's coming out Monday the 9th. At 10:15 a.m.
So by the time you see this, that video will be up.
That video will be up. I worked really hard, and then I'll be streaming all week. I don't know what exactly, but more than likely Prodeus for a little while, and then we'll go from there.
I'll be streaming.
And if I get a PS5, then I'll be streaming that. What up?
I'll be streaming probably daily this week, most likely during the day a little bit and late at night. Usually Warzone probably Friday, actually probably Thursday night going into Friday. I might do like a Cold War just came out stream that night, maybe play it all night if I can convince everybody else to stay up.
Well, I'm off of work Friday, so
I'll probably do some fat Cold War streams Friday and this weekend, so look out for that. Other than that, I might be posting some Ghostrunner videos. I haven't really decided. I'm trying to like really slap some speed run times before I record them and post them, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
And this week we'll be playing tons of games, and we'll have another episode
filled with news, and I'm sure like there's going to be like the PS5 is going to come out, and people are going to have it exploding on their front porch or like
so we'll talk
something
about
stupid's going to happen.
We'll talk about all the stuff that we just talked about now, but with new perspective,
new information
and new information.
Turns out the Xbox Series X can fly around your house and spy on you.
It's also a Roomba that cleans your floor.
There's going to be all kinds.
It's
of
just
crazy
a little
crap
mini
happening.
refrigerator cleaning your floor.
But this is going to be a good week for games, so we'll have a lot next week. This is episode 8 of the podcast.
And we kept it short.
Oh! We always try to, but we never do. We're under 40 minutes right now. So we just love talking about games. So if you watched it, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channels.
Twitch.tv/RedSoulQ4, Twitch.tv/Missoffing.
And same thing on both our YouTubes, RedSoulQ4, Midsofting. This video will be on
Follow
both
us on
pages.
Twitter.
Follow us, like the videos. Follow us on everything at Midsofting, at RedSoulQ4.
And let's play some video games, boys.
Let's play some video games.
And girls.
We love video games. If you like talking about them, listening to them, watching them, play them, follow us on everything. We're great. We love you. Goodbye. Have a nice day.